Sian Moxon. I'm a senior lecturer at the Department of Architecture in the School of Arts, Architecture and Design, and I teach sustainable design, and I lead our working group which is looking to address the climate and ecological emergency through how we teach our students, which is the Art, Architecture and Design Education Declares working group. Design does have a big impact on the environment and particularly architecture in terms of how we design the spaces that people live in and how we help people to live sustainable lifestyles by using energy more efficiently in their homes and things like that, and thinking about the materials that are used to build things or to make things or create a work of art or a design. But the reason we're doing things like this is really because we think it's important for the students and the staff to take responsibility for their own carbon footprint and to do things like this that help offset it, that deal with carbon emissions, air quality, improving biodiversity, to take responsibility for their own lifestyle and their own effects on the planet before they start sort of dictating to other people through how they design things, how they should live. So we see it as the sort of first step, and we're really keen, particularly for first years, to be involved in this. But it's open to all students of art, architecture and design throughout all the years, undergraduate and postgraduate. But we're pleased to have lots of first years as well to come and be that sort of first point of engagement with their own carbon footprint. We've had 3 groups of students here, and sort of up to 20 people at a time, so we had sort of nearly 100 people registered on the event. So the student response has been really good, and those that have managed to come down have really enjoyed the day and really sort of felt better about themselves, both for planting some trees but also for being out in nature in this really amazing site, Mudchute City Farm, which is this kind of nature reserve, this oasis in the middle of the City of London, and with Canary Wharf in the background and so on. So I think it's been a really positive thing for all of our kind of health and well-being for both lecturers and students, particularly in these strange times where most of our teaching is online and you don't get so much connection with your fellow students or with your tutors. So it's been a really good way to have a sort of safe day out and a teaching event together. Yeah, so I mean it links into our teaching, so obviously students are learning how to plant a tree, but also as we're talking about it, we're explaining that we're planting a mix of different species in hedgerows to be good for wildlife here on the farm and the nature reserve, and to hopefully add to the already great wildlife here, and also to deal with things like absorbing carbon, to counter all our carbon emissions as part of the national tree planting effort, and dealing with things like air quality to a degree as well. Good question. So we applied through the Woodland Trust, through their programme for free trees for schools and communities. So as a university, London Metropolitan University, we were able to apply on behalf of the Mudchute City Farm, the farm manager here. And the farm here are really keen to support tree planting and to increase their biodiversity on the farm, so they were absolutely all for it. And in the scheme you have to be able to plant the trees yourself, and you have to plant them on public land, and this is land that has public access and public rights of way through it, so it was perfect for that. We also already have a relationship with the farm down here. Every year we come down with our architecture students in second year to do a making event where they build life-size temporary structures out of wood and then take them down again at the end over a week. So it's really nice to come back and give something back as well when the farm has supported us over the years too. Yeah, it's quite weird because so much of the tuition is online, and particularly with first years or some of the interior design students who are down today, who have only met for the first time online. It's quite weird that I recognise their names but not necessarily their faces, because they might not have their videos on, and it's all very impersonal, the online teaching. So it's really nice to sort of back up those relationships and have that kind of face-to-face meeting in a safe way at this time. So this is the first one we've done, but we would like to build on this and do something every year. We think it's really great to have outdoor events for students. It's really good at engaging people and building bonds and sort of rapport throughout the school, particularly at this time where we're also isolated from each other, but in any times as well. We also really want to continue our efforts to use this as a way to give back to the community and address the climate and ecological emergency through dealing with those issues of climate change and ecological decline and so on. I guess I should also say that it's part of the university-wide Empowering London initiative that we have, where we're looking at 6 key challenges that London faces. One of those being the environment, and I'm the environment champion for that at university level. So it also very much ties into that and the idea of giving back to communities and addressing these problems through live projects that staff and students contribute to.